VoyMonk vlog number 61. Today, I was thinking about doing something along the lines of talking about my feelings about setting expectations a little too high. And I think that's something that we see a lot of today. And I guess growing up in the 80s and 90s, especially in the 90s, one of the I would say the more important words that I would learn is sustainability. And when I talk about expectations and setting a bar or setting expectations too high, I think that's ultimately where a lot of problems can kind of be born. And I think it flies against a more important issue, which is, of course, sustainability. Be more specific. I'm a wrestling fan. I'm a wrestling watcher. I'm using this kind of as an example, but as of I think it was the 6th of January, Netflix and WWE started producing content Monday Night Raw. And if you're not really a wrestling fan, this might not really do anything for you. I am a wrestling fan, but probably not to the point where I watch or listen to every single podcast. I love Jim Cornette occasionally, but again, I don't hang by every story, everything that happens in wrestling. But anyways, to get to my point, one of the things that they did for their first Raw was they came with a whole lineup of matches and wrestlers and I guess appearances on Monday Night Raw when it launched on Netflix. And, and part of me kind of thinks that this is a good thing. I wasn't exactly sure how it was going to all transpire and what it was going to be like. I guess apparently Netflix isn't only going to be on Raw isn't going to only be on Netflix, but it's on Netflix as far as Raw, and then, or I should say, WWE isn't only going to be on Netflix. Raw is only going to be on Netflix, but the other products they have, like the pay-per-views, at least I think for the next year, and Saturday Night's Main Event and SmackDown, I believe will be available on Peacock. But anyways, the point that I was trying to get to is with this premiere that they did on Netflix, they really, really set that bar very high. Some of the great matches that they had and some of the appearances they had were really great. My question about this has to do with sustainability. And when I first heard that they were going to be moving to Netflix as far as Raw, I actually had the perception it was going to be all of their content in the library was going to shift from Peacock to Netflix. And that's not what happened, so I guess what I'm going to say is kind of a bit mute, but I was concerned, especially if that's the way they're going to go maybe in 2026, is that if you set the certain bar a certain way, and you limit the access for those who can actually see your product, I think your overall sustainability is going to be hurt for the immediate goals or the immediate payoff in terms of what money and what deal, whatever have you, may be made. And I think as far as long term, and that's really, I think, an important detail for this, is that after that, premiere, after that bar is set, what happens a month later? What happens later down the line? To me, I think if there's going to be metrics that you're going to use for that in terms of how successful something was, and obviously the January 6th premiere was ultimately successful. My question is that what's going to happen in February? That to me, I think, is going to be the bigger question. And while it may have done very well on its premiere, did they set that bar a little too high? Kind of curious about that. I think it'll be interesting to see. Anyways, I guess you could apply that to a general overall view on a lot of different things. But that's what I was thinking about on this Tuesday. Until our next vlog, take care.